There you go.
Okay. I just want to double check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? If you hear me, it's super dope. On business.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Where do we start? Maybe I should say
Let's start by saying hi.
hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Hello. Hello.
How was your weekend?
Okay, so no matter when you're gonna listen to this, let me put you on the timeline.
Yeah.
We are Sunday, April 29th. It is 1 a.m.
Yeah.
My brother here, Danny, passed by my studio. And we said, you know what? Let's just go to work and start this week bang
Yeah, man.
with a new episode of Father 3.
Father of three.
I'm gonna let you lead on this because I think you have something you want to share with people.
Well, I want to have this
Subject.
conversation because I need your help. I genuinely need to be able to separate this all because it's kind of heavy, right? There was a situation where, and we will withhold names to protect the innocent. This kid, this great, amazing, handsome, brilliant young boy was in a sporting event, and his team lost. Okay, and after losing, rather than take the L, the lick, by the way, that's what L stands for. It's a lick.
It wasn't lost. I always thought it was a
No,
lost.
L is a lick.
Take an L means to take a
licks.
lick.
Yeah. And
I
not
learned.
licks like a lick with your tongue. It's lick with like, punch.
Yeah, punch.
Yeah, you take an L. So his team took an L, and instead of taking the L, and accept it, he had a fit, and not like a little fit, like a fit.
Genuine, like he threw a fit. Yeah.
He screamed
Tantrum.
at people. Yeah. Crying, screaming on the top of his lungs, saying using inappropriate language, using bad words, speaking to the authorities in place, coach, ref, everyone, right?
Okay.
And his father learned of the situation and went bananas.
Yeah.
His son was disrespectful to other adults. His behavior is unacceptable. And he's all like, I can't deal with it. My first reaction is brother, you cannot, and we're close. I'm like, I know there's him and his partner are separated. And I'm like, you cannot let something like this slide. However, you can't be surprised, right? Me and my wife, we have some challenges, like any couple do. Like I'm not trying to represent. I'm all against false representation. My wife and I have problems, like every other couple. And one of them is that our approach, our education obviously is different. So our approach to parenting is different as well. There's certain things, there are certain points of contention.
Yeah.
However, this particular situation, him and his ex, because they're separated, because, to make matters more complicated, they do not also see eye to eye. But they don't see eye to eye, like, on a lot of things.
Yeah.
How people choose to respect and so on is one of the big contention points. Now, I myself have a value system. I value respect and work. I respect, to me, the highest values, the highest level of morality is respect and work ethic, right? I proved my point to my son one. I'll tell you the story.
Okay.
It's completely parallel. I'm sorry that I'm diverting. But I always remember this. I told my son, like, it's very important to respect everybody that's around you. And there was this one time where he forgot his papers. And the janitor, which, because I used to drop him off, I knew well. He knew me. Hi, sir. Every time I saw him, hi. Thank you very much for your work. We appreciate you. I just wanted to say what's up to you. And he's an older man, right? And I can tell by his demeanor that he's a proud person. And the fact of me taking a second to say hi, and which, by the way,
he appreciated
exactly. So the time that I came to
Probably.
school late and rang the doorbell of the school, and he came to open the door, he walked me to my son's classroom, opened the door, and showed me to my son's desk, like, which means
Yeah.
effectively he's been watching, right? He's been
He
watching.
knows. That's an important point. He knew who your kid was. He knew who you were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and yet we've never been formally introduced. Like, all I say is hi, sir. All right, and that's it. I've never introduced myself formally. I've never introduced my son formally. However, he knows exactly who my son is, which means, the impact that I was looking to have was found. This is one of the values that I'm trying to instill into my children. Have respect for absolutely every human being that you cross, because they are somebody's child, they are somebody's father, they are somebody's brother, and that is not something that this family that I'm speaking of. That's something that is not found in that family. That value of respect. And so, as I was telling my friend, this is the reason why this child is acting this way, because you guys are out of sync on your value system, but on top of that, you're separated.
Yeah.
So, I kind of freaked out about the situation and stayed on my heart because it's heavy, right? It's heavy. This is a very brilliant young man. I think this will have repercussions into his adult life. I fear that I should say that it would have repercussions onto his adult life. And one of the most important themes to me, it doesn't matter what you do for a living, it doesn't matter where you are, what your station in life is, but so long as you can respect, you can be respected. And that is the only thing that matters in my humble opinion. So long as you can find a position in life where you can be respected, that is critically important. So I wanted to talk to you about this because I would love to have your input on the subject, as you might have you might have gone through something similar, or you might have a different point of view than I do.
I think, like you've said, it's something that all couples go through,
Of course.
and it's an added difficulty to have two parents that are separated, because that separation usually doesn't involve the kids. Meaning, even though I'm separated from you, the other person, we're still linked for life through these children, right? So, I see three things inside of this. The first one is, unfortunately, it's too late, but that's why it's super, super, super important to know who we're with and who we link with. Because we might not know. I don't know of anyone who says, you know what, I'm so looking forward to finding someone to stay with for a year or two. Maybe. Like, everybody wants it forever, right? I think...
Do they, though?
I think they do. Even those people that are like, wishy-washy. It's like saying... Okay, I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm saying, if you're normal, you want joy, you want happiness. And I don't know of anyone who says, yeah, I like being happy, but just for a moment. It sucks when everything is good. Then I need to put some chaos into it. Usually that's a mark of, like, you have issues. So usually people don't want to jump into chaos. They don't want to jump into something that they need to moonwalk of. Meaning, just
walk in reverse.
Walk in reverse. No, you want something that is forever. Maybe you're afraid through getting into commitment to call it forever.
Yeah.
But it's for the same reason some people will just say, you know what, I want to be with you forever, but I don't want to get married. You have a right that marriage is not part of your values or the things you find necessary. But there's a lot of people that be like, yeah, we're together, it's good. And they may be together for 10 years. And then their significant other will go, I would love to be married. Or they would say, will you marry me? And they'd be like, oh no, I can't get into that commitment. But we've already been. That's like the equivalent is my mom, who has a contract with a mobile phone provider for years. She has the same crappy phone for years. At some point, that phone dies. She's like, I don't want to put some money on this. For me, phones, it's not important. I'm like, well, just, renew, and get yourself a new phone. Oh, I don't want that. I don't want to be locked into a contract. And I'm like, you've been with them for 10 years.
Yeah.
Go check how many Fido dollars you got.
Yeah.
Guess what? You have enough for 3 phones. Go get the phone. Just get the phone. Get the phone. Right? That's what I mean, right? So, first of all, we have to be careful. Maybe we don't expect or want to expect a breakup. But some people you already don't mesh with.
Wow.
Some people you just know. Look, on paper, I was going to say on paper it looks good. No, some people you match with them, you already know this is the beginning of the end. We don't match on everything. I used to be, and I mean when I was really young, believe in that, opposites attract and, magnets and all that stuff. Hey, listen, reality is, I match with people, or I'm attracted to people that I have things in common. That's the important part.
Hold on.
Go.
I want to give all the respect due to your thesis. However, Dom. Like, real talk, G.
You're going to say, well, Dom and you are different.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me.
Yeah.
There is nothing you have in common?
No. Obviously, we have things in common.
Were you attracted to that negative thing? Or, like, I'm saying negative as opposite, right? Not negative as in that. Just let me get clear. To stay with the magnet analogy.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Are you attracted to the negative?
I was attracted to that which I didn't have.
That's different.
No. It's not.
Unless, or please clear it up.
Because, see, I know, Dom listens to the show, by the way, religiously. To the point where she, like, real talk. Like, she's like, yo, what are you guys going to talk about next? Like,
yes, love it.
Yeah.
What's up, Dom?
It is absolutely awesome. Thank you, babe. I appreciate your support. But what I, as a person, am not somebody that has ever put too much thought into how the world views me, right? I've always put a lot of thought in how the worlds think of me, right? And over time, and when I first met her, she's somebody that had a very polished look. She put a lot of, like most women, I think, but she put a lot of time and attention on her look. She put a lot of time and attention on the way she looked. And I wasn't attracted just to the way she looked, because obviously I thought she was beautiful. But I also was interested in the little details, the subtle details that most people don't notice. Okay. Because I'm somebody that's very detail-oriented. I noticed that she always had one nail different. I noticed that she always had one strand of hair, like on the side. Always the same way, but always different. But I was like, oh my God, like
that's special, yeah.
She's obviously somebody that cares for these things. I never did, right? Like, listen, when I buy a pair of jeans, for example, I'll usually buy 5. So when the first is dead, throw it out, buy something next. Yeah. Or when I buy shirts, I'll buy 3 colors.
Yeah.
If this shirt works.
You're functional.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a tool.
Yeah. That's the whole thing for me is just like, it's socially unacceptable to be naked.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have to.
If being naked was more efficient, you'd probably be naked.
Probably be that guy. Like I gotta really, like, listen, this your cousin gave this to me.
For real?
Yeah. He's like, hey, it don't fit no more. You want it? I'm like,
yeah. No lie?
Yeah.
I was about to say, yo, that looks like something.
You know it is. You know it is. My man hooked me up. It was. And I mean, I love it. And my wife says that colors wear me well. I'm not sure what that means, but she says color wear me well. So I actually enjoy wearing something that's a pop of color, because then I can get away with an outfit that's very basic.
Yeah, but then here's your...
That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, your anchor piece.
So to me, it's like I understand fashion, but that's never something that I've been into. I like to say I'm not cool, but my wife says I am. I'm not sure who's right, who's wrong. But I saw in her things that I didn't have in myself, things that I was interested in, not things that I hated. But I saw a negative space that I could fill, and she saw a negative space that I could fill. And so, yes, I believe that we have opposite values, not opposite values, opposite qualities, right? And therefore, those qualities happen to interlock in a profound way, right?
I find that this, for me, that definition is simply finding completion. but I still don't think that's
me, yeah.
but I still don't think it's an opposite.
Yeah.
Meaning, when I think opposite, I mean and okay,
Christian Satanist. Christian Satanist. Yeah, that's not a couple.
Yet technically,
yeah,
the opposite would be more like atheism, because a Satan. If you're Satanist, you still believe, right?
Yeah.
So, right?
Yeah.
Nuances. But, let me put it this way.
I love that.
I find that when we say the opposite attract, it's a whim. It's like me saying, you know what? What I like is a slim, blonde-haired, blue-eyed chick that likes chilling sur le plateau in Montreal, you know, likes bike rides and vegan pastries. There you go. And I'm like, this is what I love. I match with this. But then I see this punk chick, / goth / emo, heavy makeup, dark hair, complete different.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know why, but tattoos everywhere. I'm like, I'm really attracted to this. Usually, you're super attracted to this because you find this exotic. You find this different.
Jesus.
But once you're done, if you start thinking,
done.
okay, so now let's link up our lives. All right, so I was thinking maybe we could go eat this. And then she's like, I want a steak. And then you go, oh, baby, we are not going to match. And that's what I mean. It happens to everyone. I've had that happen before.
Really?
I've seen others go through that issue.
Chick?
Oh, all day. All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. No. But some are really cute.
It's interesting.
Some are really cute. I'm just gonna say that. Okay.
It's interesting because I have to say I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. It is exotic. So there is a difference between the opposite and the completion. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting theory.
See, this is okay, I'm going to give you an example.
Yeah.
This is like when I open my Facebook and a beautiful woman sends me a message in my inbox. It says, hey, are you single? Which is an automatic, okay, you're...
Sliding into my DM.
If you that's directly. This
sliding,
is literally sliding into my DM. You knew why you're asking me. I know why you're asking me this question, so I know where it's gonna get at. And then she proceeds to explain to me, I've never been attracted to black men, but there's something in you that I really find attractive. Can we link up?
Is that supposed to be
I don't know. I know what you're gonna say. Is that supposed to be a compliment? Anybody I asked that to was like, huh? Their face stays stuck, right?
like what the?
Yeah, everybody's and so you're stuck. You know what? I am not often stunned or speechless. And this was a convo which I did not need to speak about.
Yeah.
So I had to literally put the speechless emoticon, the emoji for speechless, because I didn't know what to answer.
No words,
Right? You're like, oh, that's
a compliment.
So cute and nice. You have to up talk it. Yeah, nice. I think you're not sure, but you know what? I'm gonna give her props because you know what?
Takes balls to be honest.
She was honest. She was straightforward. Okay. So now I know where I stand. Now, here's the important part. Just with her statement, I already know that one, yes, she's attracted. Yes, she finds me cute.
But she's racist. Light.
I hesitate to say it.
Okay. That's not the right word. I apologize. She's prejudiced, light.
Let's define even more, right?
Can I?
Yo, no, I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why. Okay.
Have more words.
By the way, I'm not in disagreement with you,
Okay.
right? I'm just gonna say, what if
Yeah.
I say,
Yeah.
I prefer slim chicks, thin chicks, but you're the first girl with curves, thick, that I'm really attracted to.
Okay.
Does that mean am I prejudiced? Am I prejudiced for that?
So there's a difference between defining a physical attribute and an ethnicity.
Remember, she didn't say, "Hey, you're the first Haitian dude I find attractive."
No, she
said black.
Yeah.
I could have been light skinned. hey. I knew what she meant, or I assumed.
Yeah.
Maybe if I said you're prejudiced, said, "Hey, by the way, I love light skinned dudes. I just don't like dark skinned ones." Then I'm back to the subject of thin versus thick versus tall versus small.
You know what, man? Maybe I'm different. Maybe I'm built different. Maybe I think
I'm sure
different.
a lot of people are gonna listen to that are totally gonna agree. Like, thank you. They're really gonna give us the thank you face.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say you're different. I don't think you're different.
No, because to me, like, I find women beautiful. You know what I mean? Small, tall, slim, thick, long hair, short hair, no hair, tattoos, no tattoos. I find women beautiful. I think women are beautiful. To me, like, I find beauty in young and old. I find beauty in women.
Q, Ray Sherman, I ain't got no type. That's pretty much
I got
it.
no type. Like, to me, a beautiful woman is beautiful, and an ugly woman is ugly. And that has absolutely nothing to do with skin tone. Like, to me, those things are just attributes to describe someone.
By the way, I just thought of something. So,
Yeah.
What if you tell a chick, listen, I don't usually feel attracted to ugly chicks. I don't usually get attracted to ugly chicks. But like, there's something in you, your crooked eyes and your.
You know
I
what,
just
G?
thought you right.
Yeah.
Even in that expression,
It's kind of a dick. It's kind of a dick move. But real talk, yo, you've seen the women I've dated.
Yeah.
And would you say that there's a common thread?
No, zero.
Like, I mean,
None.
like, seriously.
Zero.
I'm an equal opportunity. Like, I don't know. Beautiful is beautiful. That's
because you hit that
So to me so my point is, just to me that doesn't make sense.
yeah.
To me to say I've never been attracted to that statement to me makes
for
no
yourself.
sense. So I cannot. I'm projecting my filters onto
Yeah,
somebody else, and
exactly.
to me that statement is just as senseless.
Exactly.
So
Because of how you
of
see
me,
things, right?
Because of my the Danny goggles. The Danny goggles. This makes no sense.
And
yeah.
if I put it, if I take what you just ran with,
Yeah.
here's what I used to tell the mother of my children.
Yeah.
When she would ask me something like, "Do you find me beautiful?" or "What do you prefer?" I would repeat the statement that I had heard and I believe in it. Right? When you're married, your type is your chick. So, if at first I meet a woman, okay, hypothetically, I meet the woman of my dreams. I am getting married, and when when I found her, saw her, met her, she was blonde, green-eyed, thin, athletic woman that's into skiing. Then that was my type of chick. And if we grow together and then we have a baby, and now she is bigger, and she has she's a redhead now, you know, she wears glasses, that's my type. And if afterwards she decides now she likes she's a brunette, she wears contact lenses, she loves heavy makeup, that's now my type. So for me, I couldn't care less, because once I'm linked with you, and now we made a commitment that you my type, I couldn't care less. So when I was
I
with
don't
her,
think women get that though.
No, they don't, but it doesn't help that a lot of men have either difficulty communicating it, and I'm saying communicating it. Why?
Yeah.
Because every time I hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, you know, with chicks, like if they ask you, does this make you look fat?" There's no right answer, and for me, I've never had difficulty with this one.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I just tell you, does it make you look fat
Yeah.
or not? And if somebody says, "Well, she's gonna flip out," no. In her statement, she said, "Does it make me look fat?" Nowhere have I admitted you were. You asked, "Does it make me look fat?"
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Where something else, and I'll be like, priceless, cool. And it can't be lazy either. You can't just be like, just throw. That's why you have to be interested in what she says.
Yeah.
Her looks, her style, her preference. So you're able to say, you know what? I looked at this, I saw this, and it looked awesome. It's all in the way you're gonna say it. That's why dudes be like, "Oh yeah, I can't look at another chick. I can't look at clothes. I can't look. She's gonna be jealous." No, dude. These are your insecurities, and you're throwing it at her.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now she's like, smells fishy. That's blood to sharks.
Yeah.
Don't do that. So she asks you a question, answer straight.
Yeah.
Yo, do these jeans make me look fat? Yes. And I love it. You could do that. You could do that.
Damn.
There's different ways of twisting it, right? But
Yeah.
as long as you're for real about it,
Yeah.
then
Just
you're
be
in.
honest. Just stay honest.
Just be honest. So
yeah.
So that's why I said, look, that's the answer I used to give. That's what I believe. So I agree with you. If I saw a chick, either I like you or I don't. And I wouldn't be like, usually I'm not attracted to. Well, there's no usually. If usually I'm not attracted to Polish women, it's just because I didn't find the right Polish woman.
Yeah.
That's it. It can't be a blank statement, right?
It's a. Yeah.
That
It's
would suck.
you know what? To me, that's just intellectually lazy, and that is the worst sin. That is the worst of sins.
Intellectually lazy.
Yeah. It's not whether it's true or it isn't. Like, did you put any stock into what you're saying? The fact of somebody making that kind of a statement also tells me that they're intellectually lazy. They're not going to think much about what they say. They're just going to say whatever is blurred on top of their mind.
I thought it was more a question of.
You're going to get a lot of bleh conversations. But I want to get back to
yeah, because we're going to go
problem,
back. Yeah. So the first thing I was telling you is,
Yeah.
of course, the situation of choosing, right? You choose your partner. To go back to the beginning of the conversation.
Yeah.
You choose your partner, even if you break up, you kind of have to find someone, and of course, we can't predict everything, right?
Okay.
Some things happen and you're like, yo, that's beyond my powers.
Yeah.
But some situations can be easily solved. This one is when you match with someone and you see that right away your values are opposite. Because usually people say, "Oh, they changed. I didn't know." Nah, dude, they didn't change. And we blame women on doing this, but us men do it often too. We'll pick someone and we either want to fix them, or we run away from something that hurt us.
Yeah.
Blanket statement again.
Mm-hmm.
That if I apply the story we just had, a chick that tells me, "Hey, I'm not usually attracted to black men, but I'm attracted to."
Yeah.
Well, somebody could also say, "You know what? I'm done with black men, and now I'm gonna go towards white men, because all black men are." See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's be careful also to not, while running away from something, we go into the hands of somebody who's worse. And it's not to say that one ethnicity. I gave ethnicity as an example. I'm not saying it's better or worse. The important thing for me is the values. So that's why even if you match with somebody who has a different religion than you, yes, you might say, "Yeah, but we'll find a way to work, and they'll pray their God, I'll pray my God, and we'll be fine." When you, through thick and thin, what you believe in, that's what holds you. It's your glue. So if we're not in agreement with that, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying
It's gonna be hard.
We're upping the level of the game now.
Yeah.
The difficulty level we're bringing up.
Yeah.
We're saying, yeah, let me do the stage, and let me do it on hard.
You remember Raki?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You know she wears the veil now.
Why am I not surprised? Context, by the way, because they probably don't know what you said.
What we're talking about? Yeah.
See,
I forgot about the camera for a second.
We're getting so cozy and intimate with you guys. We're just naming names like, you know. So I was with Georgie, right? You know Georgie, right? I don't even know who's watching. You know Georgie, right? Yeah. So yeah, she wears the.
I dated a woman a long time ago, very very long time ago. So long ago, I met her at Groove Society.
Wow.
We had met at Groove Society.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Which was a club back in the days, very popular and trendy.
Yeah, on the corner of St. Catherine and Amherst. I don't think it's there anymore.
No, it's not.
I don't.
Well,
think
it's another spot.
Oh, there's another club there?
I'm pretty sure it's another spot now.
Anyways, point is, met a woman, started dating, met her in a club, so, you know, there's that. Started dating. It was short-lived. It was a short-lived relationship. Like, I don't know, I think we stayed together for like 6 months, if so much. And I'm from a Christian family, Christian faith. She's from a Muslim family, Muslim faith, and it was not a problem. I remember my mom. One time she passed by my house. Not that I wanted to do a formal introduction to my family or anything, but she passed by the house. My mom looked at her and said, "She looks like she's Muslim." And I'm like, Mom, seriously? And I was like, Mom, really? She's, yeah, I think she is. Did you ever ask her, Danny? I'm like, Oh,
I remember that. Oh, true. You didn't even know at that point.
I didn't know.
Yo.
Yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had absolutely no idea. It was that kind of relationship, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so and you know, I lost touch, and then found her online. We started chatting, whatever, and then she put up a profile picture, and she's wearing a veil, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. I mean, not that I have a problem with women that wear the veil. Like I don't have a problem with that, yeah. But I can only imagine, had I pursued this relationship, that would have been a subject of conversation.
Of course, exactly.
And by conversation, I mean a problem. Like, I don't mind. Like, oh my God, I don't even know how to talk about this. So, yeah.
Somebody right now heard that last sentence and went, prejudice. somewhere, well, prejudice.
But it is. But like, real talk, it is.
It is.
Like, I have...
reservation?
The thing is I have friends that wear the veil. Mm-hmm. I've had a lot of friends that wear it. Mm-hmm. They're friends.
That's right.
I respect their privacy. I respect their choices. I respect their life. Mm-hmm. I do not have a problem with it. Listen, I went to school. My elementary school, it was a nun's school. So women with the veil, like, it's
exactly.
Not, like, it's not it's not something like, oh my God, a veil. What is that? No, I know what it is. I know the historical reason why it exists, regional and religious. I understand where it comes from.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's not a shocking thing. But in my house, you understand?
Yeah.
Around my children, that would need a conversation. I would need to have a conversation about this. And it would be, it would most likely be, I think, an unpleasant conversation.
It might be an awkward conversation, but it would be a conversation you would have to have.
I would have to have.
Right? Because you're getting to that step.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying, hey, you could have said, hey, you know what? Let me, we're going to continue this. I see no reason not to. And you go on. And then at some point if she said, you know what? I want to wear the veil.
Yeah. Then
you're already, so far in.
Yeah.
It's not now that you have to put resistance.
No.
It just means you shouldn't get into that in that relationship to begin with. And that's what's super difficult. So people don't like when you tell them the truth like that.
Yeah.
They want to go, it's Disneyland. Everything is, birds and butterflies. No, love is love, and we will find a way. And then, no. The truth is, no. It's love is work.
Yeah.
And you have to not be afraid of work. If love for you is something that is passive, that you just feel, not something that you do or give, you're screwed. Laziness will kill you. It will kill marriages, relationships, even with friendships, right?
Yeah.
If you put no effort, ever,
Yeah.
either it wasn't important to begin with,
Mm.
or you will find what's lacking. You realize, you know
Yeah.
what? Maybe we have nothing in common.
Damn.
And that's the touchy part. You know what? Let's talk friendship, okay? When I was in elementary school, my best friend, his name was Bruno. I am a Haitian.
Yeah.
I'm a Haitian boy raised by 3 wonderful women. My mom and my 2 aunts.
Yeah.
Uh,
I remember the compound.
That's right. There was a squad.
Yeah.
My grandpa was a pastor, and on the other side you had son of a military family, soccer player, white Quebecer, totally different background.
French Canadian.
And yes,
Okay.
and yet we were best friends for years.
Okay.
We would play Dungeons & Dragons,
Really?
computer games. We would read books. He's the one who introduced me to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
I didn't know you were into Double D.
My all my adventuring, gaming, fantasy, literature love,
Yeah.
I literally got from him.
Oh.
And right now, what my kids love,
Yeah.
I've transmitted, so I can thank him for that, right?
Yeah.
And yet, if we talk about upbringing, totally different.
Yeah.
If we talk about faith, totally different.
Okay.
Until recently, last time I spoke to him, he was still an atheist.
Yeah.
Couldn't care less about God.
Yeah.
But still, he was thoughtful enough that one day at my birthday, he bought me a Bible, and it was a Bible all in Hebrew.
Wow.
And I thought it was really nice of him to be like, you know what? I'm adding a difficulty level to you. I'm buying your religious book in Hebrew, straight up. And I was happy about the gesture, right?
Yeah, of course.
So you could say, oh, we're opposites. Yeah, but something was linking us.
Respect.
And that was the thing that was important.
Yeah.
So we discussed these 2 points. I think actually I mixed them in one. So back to the friend you were talking about and his kid and the ex. If number 1 was resolved and already part of that equation would be out, that would be awesome. We could stop here. But since we can't, because now it's too late, right? And you see those patterns, here's the thing. It's unfortunate, but there's nothing you can do. Because you have no say in the other person's life.
Obviously.
So, quote unquote, you can't save them. And that's whether they had better values or not. But there's nothing you can do, right? Everything
no privy.
No. So right now, all you have is the child.
Damn.
And all you can do is give. And not give in the sense of trying to buy out someone. You're not trying to buy out the kid like, okay, he's going to listen to me more if I give him stuff and then I'll get a chance to. No. It's to take charge of those opportunities. I say that often we're so hot and heavy on finding an opportunity to gain something, either money or whatnot, that we forget those where we could be giving. So instead of taking, let's say, charge, taking lives, taking attention, no, let's start giving instead. And the child is going to notice it right away. I am totally imperfect. Sometimes I talk with my kids. We have arguments. Listen, today we had a ton of arguments.
Really?
Oh, a ton. So today, just to give you a little window in my eye. So today the kids had a show. It was their first official show without me, meaning they were performing by themselves. I was not on stage with them. We worked on the routine,
How old are these
the
kids?
music. Rebecca, my eldest, is 14.
Yeah.
My son Elijah is 11, and my youngest is 9.
Huh.
So all of them together,
A 9, an 11, and a 14-year-old alone on stage.
on stage, performing well. I might add.
Okay.
I am super proud. But this is a perfect example of, hey, you saw in front of the camera how awesome they look. Oh, they're so cute. Yeah. Behind the camera,
Yeah.
these last 2 days, yo, I felt like snapping everybody's neck. I'm not just talking about kids. At that point, I was irritated at everyone, okay? Everyone, because there's something that just burns inside, and that's what happens when you work on passions, right?
Yeah.
Music, arts is a passion for me. I've transmitted it to my kids, and they've evolved in it. That also means they have their own personality in it, identity in it, and I have no control. So they ask me for advice, and I'm helping them, but then they don't listen, and then I want to put on them, my burden. I want to put my mark. I'm like, listen, I'm trying to take you down. See what I'm saying? Like, listen, stop it, no, hey, and then you're getting pissed. But then I go backwards and I think and I go, okay, but was I giving enough? Once you're showing it as, hey, I'm giving you something, I'm giving you advice, they're gonna change. It changes the mind frame. Some people will say it's just semantics. It's just words, but words is everything, right?
Yeah.
It's how you frame it. So it was a complete failure. Even though, by the way, the show was awesome. But when I recap, failure. Because I could have treated this in a better way.
Yeah.
I could have been a better example. But that's how it gets with emotions. So I can tone back and go, okay. If you're in a situation when you know your kid has a bad influence, but unfortunately, it's the other parent. You're not going to take them away. You're going to try to curve, and you're just going to try to give. So you're like, listen, here's what I didn't like you doing, Cedric. And you talk to the kid like, hey, I didn't like this, that, and third. We can work through things out. Here's the reason why. Because often when we're trying to take, we don't want to give reason. It's just, do this because I told you so. And since I know it never really worked for me, it's a kind of hypocrite to ourselves do it to them, right?
Yeah.
Like the minute, it's like being under a dictator and being like, we're going to do everything to put that dictator down because we can't stand this anymore. And then you take him down, you take the position, and then you rule in the same way. You forgot that that's what you hated. But now that you're in power, you're like, I can get used to this, right?
Yeah.
So that's it's not much of an advice. It's more a question of you need to realize and then start giving. And then at some point, you're like, hey, in whatever, how many years, he'll be of age to be able to deal with and make his own choices completely. That's why I am so grateful that the person I'm matched with, even though there's plenty of stuff I am pissed off or that we're fighting about, when it comes to the kids, we were talking about that today. We're like, what's awesome is the kids know there's no exit strategy. There is no, you know what? Maybe mom doesn't let us do something, but dad will. And since they're not talking, we'll be at peace.
Yeah.
No. It means that whatever I'm picky about,
Mom's picky about.
Yeah. And maybe you know that mom's not really picky about it, but because dad is picky about it, she will apply it too. And vice versa. So if there's something that I'm like, you know what, it's not a big deal. But if you're doing it at your mom's house, why would you not be doing it here? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, go back to your room. Go clean.
Oh, wow.
It just works. And once you know it, there's an incentive to do it. There's an incentive to be common friends. And would somebody want more, less? That's not important because the important thing is the kids, right?
Yeah,
so I'm happy that these battles, I don't have them. So I'm not a good example, actually. Because I know not everyone has that relationship.
Yeah.
I would hope everyone would have. Actually, I would hope people would have better because we still have some rough edges, I'm sure some people manage it even better than us. The problem is I don't know of them.
Yeah.
It's not trying to show off. It's just because I think it's a subject that is still taboo. People don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
How do you co-parent with your ex?
Till this day. Today I was thinking about...
By the way, that's the title. How do you co-parent with your ex?
That's the title of the.
That's the title.
I love it.
I love the episode.
We were thinking before starting this, we were wondering how we're gonna, what kind of title we're gonna give, what name we're gonna give this episode.
How you co-parent with your ex?
That's it. Awesome. So today, I was coming here. Actually, we came back from the show. The kids were sleeping in the car. You know me. My mind wanders. My mind simply wanders all the time. I'm always creating something. And I don't know why, I was thinking of the word baby daddy. And there's not a lot of words or expressions that make me want to throw up. This is one of them. I can't deal with that. Every time somebody says, yeah, how's your baby mama? I'm like, don't use that. This is so close to the N-word for me.
Why?
Because of the connotation behind it. Okay? So baby daddy or baby mama simply is my baby's daddy. Why would baby daddy or baby's daddy bug me more than the father of my children or my child? Because of who says it and how it's always been said. Usually, you do not use this expression
out of love.
Out of love. You know, like nobody asking the question, how's the baby mama?
Yeah.
Expects she is wonderful, kind, appreciative, a loving, a great mother. If you answer that, you will see the person's face go. I was kind of hoping for some gossip, drama. I thought we would exchange baby mama's
baby mama drama.
Drama, exactly. And if when somebody does it, because I've had it happen before, I cut them off right away.
Wow.
Because that's what I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna be like, oh, she is a wonderful mom. Seriously, I couldn't ask for better. Couldn't ask for more. It stops them right in the tracks. Like, huh? The expression is ugly. I do not want to be referred to as baby daddy. Do not do this to me. I will be pissed. Because I am not just baby. When you say baby daddy, it usually means the dude that's never there.
Yeah.
Who's never aware of what's going on.
The deadbeat dad.
The deadbeat dad. Back to episode 1 or 2. I forget. But yeah.
When we talked about baby dad.
Exactly. It's baby dad and deadbeat dad go hand in hand.
Yeah, there is a supposition that if you're saying that you're only the janitor, not the janitor, the supplier of DNA.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you are. Then that means you're not physically present. You're not involved in the day-to-day life. But to be fair, there are certain situations in which, actually, jokingly, I'll call Dom. Sometimes I'll call her my baby mama. Yeah. And I'm with the kids. And we're hanging out, and somebody goes, "Oh, you guys are hanging out? Yeah, baby mom's just taking a break." I say that jokingly because the reality is,
of course,
you know, she's with a 6-month-old at home. Like,
that's right.
She's not taking a break.
No, exactly. Of course, it's the worst part. Yeah, you're actually taking the break.
I'm taking the break. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you, Dom. I'm gonna help you. Wink, wink, and let's go have some fun.
I'm leaving with the kids that wipe their own butts.
That's right.
That feed themselves.
Walk by themselves.
They walk by themselves.
Exactly.
They don't need car seats.
The easy package.
They got boost. Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, no, I'm taking the easy way out. Real talk.
But it's just an ugly, like.
It's an ugly word.
I find it stinks of ratchetness.
Wow.
That's totally freestyle, by the way. I did not invent this before. Like, it stinks of ratchetness. It just that's what I feel when somebody says that.
Yeah, it's an ugly word.
So for me, it's like, you know what? It's almost impossible to not to match, but to have a good relationship with somebody you call or refer that way.
Yeah. It's demeaning.
It's demeaning. Yeah. It's demeaning, and I think that's important. Again, we were talking vaguely about the importance of words.
Yeah.
And how you use them and how you frame them.
Words have power.
A lot
Words
of power.
have power because if you believe it, or if you say it eventually, you'll speak it into existence.
Yes.
And if you're talking about the person that's the mother of your children, or the father of your children in an evil or demeaning way, eventually, if you didn't harbor those feelings, eventually you will. So words absolutely have power.
Yeah.
Furthermore, I wouldn't want my children to hear me speak of their mother this way.
Yeah.
You know, I have 3 boys.
Yep.
The number one thing that I absolutely want them to see is the love that we have between us. That is the number one. I want them to see the love and respect. And every single time she comes home, the first thing that I do is I'll run to the door and be like, "What can I help you with? What can I help you with?" Every single time she comes home, I'm running to the door and like, "Baby, are you okay? Do you need help? Whatever."
Yeah.
Especially these days, right? She's with a 6-month-old, so
Yeah.
I know what she needs help with. This heavy ass
something is
car chair.
Is needed. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, at the very least, I can help with that. And yeah, so yeah, the baby mom thing. But back to the subject of raising the kids with your ex, like it's with your ex or with your spouse. Actually, I shouldn't say just with your ex, but with your spouse. Like, there are always certain things that come out that you like. Oh wow, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Right. For example, I've always had a certain level of ease with math. For example.
Yeah.
That is just, to me, logical, and I like to think of myself as a logical thinking person.
Yeah.
So to me, math is just something that makes sense. Languages, on the other hand, it feels like made up rules that somebody just made up.
And yet that is Dom's specialty.
She's a linguist.
That's right.
So
that's her specialty.
Yeah, it's her specialty. So to her, language makes sense, and she's constantly correcting me, which, thank God, because otherwise, like, I'd sound like a buffoon. And write like one too, because spell check sucks, and my wife does not.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, like I have this ease, and so when the children come with certain mathematical or general science type of questions, I will have the conversations with them. And when it has to do with language and whatever, I'm like, please go see your mom. I am not good at this.
Yes.
You know, interestingly enough, most of the time we're in the car, I'm driving. Most of the time. Not all of the time, obviously. And most of the time we're out as a family, we're using my wife's car.
Yeah.
She has the family hauler, so we use her vehicle. And my youngest, Eli, is the number 2, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you guys do that too.
What?
I call them 1, 2, and 3. Oftentimes I'll speak to Dom and I'll be like number 1, number 2, and number 3.
Dude, I got lazy with this. I just call him yo.
No,
yo.
when referring to activities or comments or certain things, like I'll call Eli number 2. Anyway, so
it's because it's the fact that they're all boys.
Yeah.
There's that, right?
Yeah.
Means there's the girl,
Yeah.
and then the 2 youngers,
Yeah.
and then those boys. I'm just like,
Guys.
whichever. So guys, usually, anyways, when there's trouble, it's pretty much both of them.
Yeah.
So they come together. It's a pair. Go figures.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So number 2 is in the car and he's asking, so who's faster, you or mom?
And what?
Which is the natural second question to ask. What, you mean in a foot race or you mean like driving?
Yeah.
And then he goes, well, driving. I'm like, well, your mom drives a lot more than daddy, and she's been driving for longer, so she's a better driver than me. And I have absolutely
no qualm in admitting that.
None whatsoever. Yeah. Anyways, if you see her reversing, it's a thing of beauty. Like
really,
she's got skills. She's got skills behind the wheel. I mean, I have track experience, but that's a different type of driving.
Yeah.
Right? But when it comes to a foot race, I'm like, well, I'm taller than her. So, with the equal amount of energy, I'll run faster than her because I'm taller. But then if it's a short race, it's one thing. If it's a long race, it's a different thing. Because I have stamina, but she has endurance. And then Eli was like, huh. I'm like, yeah, I know, this is nuanced, isn't it? Like, we have different skills that we bring to bear. It was super interesting to see, like, he was properly puzzled. But I just want to know who's faster.
Exactly, the question. Yeah, but then again, you were being Danny.
Yeah.
You were being Daddy. That's
The answer is yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. Yes.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Who's faster, mom or dad? The answer is yes.
Yes. It's just, it's cut the crap.
But I'm trying to add the nuance, and I love to see Dom's reaction because he's looking at, she's trying to like,
yeah. What's going on?
What's he gonna say? How is he gonna react to this? By the way, this was in the car, so obviously, like, it's not a, you know. But I'm trying to add nuance. My wife and I have this similar type of way that we'll address these things. Effectively, what I'm telling my son is, it depends. That's effectively the answer to the question. The answer to who's faster, mom or dad, the answer is it depends. Who's better with this or that, the answer is usually going to be it depends. Yeah. The answer, right, and that's usually the question that how we answer our children. And so in most things, we come as a common friend. But there are certain things that, like...
Then it becomes, it can become a war.
Yeah. I'm not a fighter, man. I am a lover, not a fighter.
It depends. Yeah. It's a good time to say it depends. Yeah. And I speak these same things with the children. That's why again, we are not planning these talks, by the way, guys. Yeah. We pop in, we start talking, and then stuff happens, right?
Just press record.
And it just so happens today I had a conversation with my ex, and we were talking about that. Like, hey, when comparing with the kids, or different style of quote unquote ruling, you know, maybe she is a genius in preparing and scheduling everything that has to do with meals, right?
Yeah, she worked long enough in the field.
Exactly in the food industry. She's a great cook.
Yeah.
There's a love and an interest in it, right?
Absolutely.
So
I can attest to that.
Her prep work, you know, it's something to applaud, right?
If she doesn't have 10,000 hours, she can't be far.
No.
If she doesn't have the 10,000 hours,
she can't be far.
Yeah.
And in me, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Me, I just started, quote unquote, in the last maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
But I always tell even the kids, it's not something I love. I have zero interest in cooking, apart from the fact that it provides for a need. So I'll do it. It doesn't mean I'm just gonna just throw whatever and be like, whatever it tastes.
No. I saw you.
But
I saw you chopping it up, and I was like,
see, somebody saw me. I was cooking. In case somebody said.
I saw you chopping it up, and I was like, respect.
I'm just doing stuff.
Respect.
But
well done.
But the love.
Yeah.
So when it comes to prep work, I mess up often because I didn't plan properly. Yeah. But I'm still able to manage a whole bunch of different things, right? But this, not so. And I actually want to touch on something. Again, it's a segue. Yeah. You know, you were saying you love logic, you love math, right? And in my situation, the kids know I am good with languages, but when it comes to math, I suck at it. Although I do love logic, but I hate numbers. So sometimes people seem to think one automatically comes with the other. Yeah. The same way I remember when I was in high school, I had the math teacher didn't like me. I don't know why. She didn't like me, and I wasn't good in math. And we had to fill some paper. You know the test that tells you in which field you could be going to work. And I've always wanted to work with computers. And I do the test, and the test says it. It says computers. And I show it to the teachers. Computer, never. You suck at math. So the math teacher is telling me, you suck at math, and that's why you're not gonna make it. I'm pretty sure I told the chick, watch me. Watch me. Because obviously you already don't know. You know nothing. Yeah. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Nothing. You said that randomly. Oh, because for you, it's like, well, you need the math for. Math is good. Math is awesome.
Did you listen? I did a lot of consulting work, right?
Yep.
I did professional service and consulting work, and there's this saying, and it's very like I warn you if you've never heard this before. It's very pretentious, but oftentimes consultants would say, those that know do. Those who don't know teach.
Yeah.
Those who don't know and can't do write books. So if you have a teacher that wrote his own book, like that's a trifecta.
Trifecta right there. Yeah.
That's a trifecta.
Yeah.
And my mom, from a young age, I did not like teachers because most, not all, most are not in the field that they chose. Most are not there for the right reasons.
I understand.
Most are not motivated or interested in their pupils. I think teaching is the world's most important.
Yes.
It's the most important thing you can do in society. You're basically molding the young minds.
That's right. That's a lot of power. That's a lot of
power. So to be a dick, forgive my French, but to be a dick as a teacher, like you gotta be a special kind of.
But there's a lot. You know what? You said it. It's a calling, and all
but
these
not
sections.
all answer the call.
Nope. So you have people, let's say, that are teachers.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be teaching.
Yeah.
You have people that are nurses.
That
should never be.
Yeah, they shouldn't be around people.
Never, ever.
Yeah.
You have cops, firemen.
Yeah.
These are callings. They're not just. They're
Jobs.
things that if you do them as a job, you will suck at it. You cannot do them as a job because it is really not gratifying enough as it is.
You know what? All the jobs you just named, by the way, nurse, fireman, cop, teacher, that basically means you want to be a superhero. That's basically basically the job description.
Yes, they're all superhero jobs.
I want to be a superhero. That's basically what the job description says. And so to see people that are half, I don't want to say, well, they're half pregnant with the idea.
Half-heartedly, yeah.
Yeah. They're like, I want to do it, but I just want my summers off. Like, I'm sorry, summers off is not enough to be a professor. And yet, my brother's is a professor, and he's great at it, and he loves it, and you could tell he's passionate.
I know Pascal.
Yeah. Pascal's
Eric's
also
sister. Yeah.
Yeah. She's also, and she is obviously fully enthralled with the idea of molding young minds, and she's like, you could tell she's really consumed by the questions that are asked. How could I deal with situation X, Y, and so on? I mean, the profession, the profession in my mind is, like I said, it's the job of being a hero, and the fact is that most are not passionate enough about it, because the reaction that you're describing to me, that is a travesty. The fact of somebody making a statement to someone that you can't do it, that is a travesty. You should never say that to a young person. What you should say to a young person is, you might want to consider, or you might want to improve on certain skills, because that's, as I understand it, a requirement for this. But to be quite honest with you, if you're a high school math teacher, you might not be the expert on computer sciences. You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect, but if you're a high school math teacher, maybe career advice is not your thing. Maybe not.
Hey,
with all due respect to all high school math teachers out there,
she proved it in what she said and what she did. Right, I jumped into computer work early. You know, we started almost at the same time. I loved it for the time. So Nick, my friend, you're right. And sorry to tell you this is not where I had to use math the most.
But you had to use some math.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. That's why I said I love logic.
Yeah.
And computers is a lot about logic.
Yeah.
But I'm just bad with numbers. I'm extremely bad with numbers. I have a form of dyslexia with numbers. So for me, even when I look at numbers, sometimes they get mixed up in my head.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I suck at taking exams. Because the minute there's numbers, and it doesn't mean I can't count. It doesn't mean I can't do. It's just that once you give me an equation, sometimes I look at it like. But then if you just say it verbally to me and you explain it to me, I'm like, oh yeah, you just do this and then the third. So that's why, back to the kids, I would send the kids, hey, go see your mom for this. But if you want to talk about writing, words, I'm your guy. Because I love it. It's a passion for me. And then that's what I gave to my kids, right? And it's funny, you were talking with my son, my youngest, and when you asked him what was his favorite subject, he said math. See? And he's like a clone of me. We share everything in passion-wise. I hate math, and he loves it. Good on him. Let him do what he needs to do.
Maybe you had a bad experience at one point that he never had. That's possibly the explanation. Because to me, math to me is the language of the universe, right? I mean, everything is quantifiable, measurable, and I don't know the formulas for everything, but I know that it's somewhere in there. You know what I mean?
But isn't it funny that even though it is a language,
and
still
I don't like languages.
still not good with other languages.
Yeah.
It's a love of numbers, man.
Yeah.
It's a love of numbers. But that goes back to sharing. It comes back to completion.
Yeah.
And just exchanging. And it's gonna sound cliche because it is, but it's truth. In the end, it's about communication. So relationships is that, friendship is that, love between you and your children, it's how you communicate. And even though some of my biggest failures have been in communicating, even though that's my specialty, the fact that I know and understand will help me not repeat that same error again. Or at least repeat it less.
Pass it to your children too.
Exactly. So they can do better than me.
Yo, you rock. As usual, you rock.
How much time do you do?
An hour and 6.
Boom!
Yeah. That was an easy,
And it is now 2 a.m.
Yeah.
We're going to say goodbye, man.
Yeah.
We're going to say goodbye. Guys, thank you for listening to us. If you likes, subscribe, share, comment. We love hearing from you guys.
Yes.
And we want to hear more from you guys, whether it's subjects, question about children, question about the world, involving children, or you just want to have the opinion of 2 men that just so happen to have 3 kids.
Yeah.
And we are working through these challenges.
Yeah.
Give us a holla, and we will see you next week.
Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. No, not LinkedIn. Hell's no. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Right? We put everything on YouTube, just because that's what we've chosen to do. But all the content is on YouTube and on SoundCloud. So we're also on iTunes, Stitcher, and I don't know what other podcast platform there may be, but we're probably on there.
Everywhere.
But look up Father of 3. That's who we are. So yeah, guys, just please continue listening, and help us continue this, spread our conversations around.
Peace out.
Have a good week.